Friends, good morning. So, little Council of Trent theology coming at you this morning. I hope you had your coffee. Yes? Great. Okay, because I did. All right, so the Council of Trent gathered after the Protestant Reformation to clarify matters that were very confusing in the life of the church at the time. And one of those things that need to be clarified was specifically what the church meant by original sin. And the Council of Trent declared that sin, original sin, is passed on. Here's their Latin language. They said it's passed on propagatione et non imitatione. It's by propagation, not by imitation. What the heck does that mean? What's the difference? Okay, this thing called sin, in particular original sin, it's not merely a matter of like imitating bad behavior. Like this nexus of sin that we live in, people sinning, being responsible for sin, responding to sin. It's not merely a matter of, I see bad behavior, I'm going to model or mimic the bad behavior. It's not just a mere imitation. It's not monkey see, monkey do. No, it's, as the Council Fathers said, it is in us. There is something bent in us, and it's all around us. We are born with it, and we're born into it. We're born into a fallen world. We're born behind enemy lines, to use the image of C.S. Lewis. This is what Paul's getting at in this first reading, this section of his letter to the Romans. Sin entering the world through the disobedience of our first parents, right? Sin, death, hell, Satan, all of these realities invaded God's good creation. And as a result, humanity, what happens? Humanity was taken captive, right? Behind enemy lines. Here's, in my mind, this is the best analogy that my mind has come to. Remember a number of years ago, right here in Cleveland, there was those three young ladies, Amanda Berry, Gina DeJesus, Michelle Knight, those three incredible young ladies who were literally taken captive by a man named Ariel Castro. These women, they were held, they were girls at the time, they were held in his basement in captivity for close to a decade. You never forget like the video footage, the conversation with the neighbors, all of that stuff. These women, they suffered tremendously in this man's basement, abused and used in ways that it's just beyond nightmares. Amanda, one of the girls, she conceived a child in the most violent way with Ariel Castro, but this baby, for whatever reason, he allowed her to keep to term, that she bore this child of hers. She had a baby whom she named Jocelyn, who she gave birth to in the basement. So that little girl's whole world, from the moment she was conceived, from the moment she entered this world, it was conditioned and confined by the fallenness of Ariel Castro. Right? Her whole world was hemmed in by this evil in a unique way, we might say, right? She was born by no fault of her own into a fallen world. And as she grew, like those three girls, they did the best they could to try and give her some semblance of normalcy, right? When she was old enough to go to preschool, I remember reading this story that they would get her dressed in the morning and they would make a little lap around the basement. They would walk her to school and they would have preschool in the basement. They tried to give her some semblance of normalcy. But obviously it was far from normal. That's not the natural habitat for a little girl to grow up. Just like we might say, this fallen world is not the natural habitat of the human heart. The human heart was made for paradise, perfection, union with God. So what had to happen? Someone from the outside had to enter this world, had to invade this prison of darkness, had to come into the fallen world behind enemy lines to effect a rescue. Just as SWAT officers had to storm the house, go into the basement, and pull the girls out. That's what Jesus has done. It's not merely a matter of bad behavior, modeling bad behavior, imitating bad behavior. If that's the case, then we all could have saved ourselves. Just act better. But that's not the case. We were born behind enemy lines. Original sin is our being taken captive. And thanks be to God for our rescuer, for our liberator, who brought us out.